Today's tip is all about scope creep, one of the most annoying, painful, and frustrating things that freelancers encounter. And actually, it shouldn't be. It should be something that's easy. So here are some top tips to help with it. 1, use a contract. If you are clear at the beginning of your job what you're doing and what the scope of the job is, then it's not going to happen. And if it does happen, you have something to refer to. The second point is communicate really clearly. If somebody asks you to do an extra job, explain why it is extra, why it's not part of the scope, and how much it would cost. And say, I'm happy to do this, but these are the terms that I'd be happy to do it on. Don't be scared of saying no when someone asks you to do an extra job. If you walked into a shop and bought a packet of crisps and paid 50p and then said you're going to take another packet of crisps, they would tell you to get out. Think about it in the same way. It's really important and it will help you, and ultimately it will increase your worth. Today's tip is all about improving and learning. Very rarely do you learn from the things that you do really well or the things that people give you positive comments about. The things that you learn from are your mistakes, the things that people criticize you about. When I was a ballet dancer, I was constantly being told that criticism is a gift, that mistakes are an opportunity, and they are. Use criticism as a gift. Use negative feedback as a gift. Think about the things you do wrong because they're the opportunities to learn and grow, not the things that you do right. Standing out from the crowd can seem like a really daunting task, but the truth is it's actually a really easy way of doing this. Use your personality, use your interests, and use your hobbies. It's unlikely you're going to be the best graphic designer in the world at a particular thing or the best service provider in any industry, but you absolutely can be an individual, someone that people are personally interested in. So use your hobbies, use your interests, use who you are to build a character around your craft, to really stand out and make yourself interesting to potential clients. Today is all about chasing the money, which is an odd thing considering I advocate chasing your passion and doing what you're passionate about. But it's impossible to do what you're passionate about if you're not earning enough money to sustain your business or grow your business. The easiest way to do this is to set clear monetary goals for a month or for a quarter or for half a year. Generally a bit shorter makes it easier to achieve, and then break that down into achievable goals. If you need to raise £1,000 in 1 month, say, then break it into 4, 5, 200, 250 pound segments that you can deliver as services to clients. It makes it really clear what you need to achieve and how you need to achieve it. And then you can look for the clients that will be able to pay the amount that you're looking for rather than just kind of floundering about and hoping to get some money. Today's tip is all about the power of saying no. And I know people talk about this a lot, but I think there's a really, really important part of this. You shouldn't be thinking about your freelance career as just trying to get another gig. You should be thinking about it as trying to build a successful career or business. And one of the best ways to do that is to say no to work that you don't want or is bad or is underpaid, and use that time to focus on building a better business. If you build a better business and you build better clients, you might get a little bit less money that day or that week, but you're ultimately going to build something that's more successful, and it's worth saying no to do that. Today's tip is all about charging what you're worth and not what you think you can get. If you're charging what you think you can get, £50 here, £100 there, you're probably not reaching your maximum and you're probably undercharging and over-delivering and working too hard. The trick to this is really working out what your service is worth. Break it down into days, break it down into things provided, really be able to articulate what a client is getting and how much that is worth, and you'll notice that you can charge more. Also, look for clients that can actually pay. Don't just look to your network and see who's willing to pay me something. Understand what your thing is worth, or at least find a price point that you think makes sense, and then try and deliver that to clients that can pay for it. The easiest way to increase your worth that I know is using a contract, and that's what today's tip is all about. Use contracts. Send contracts to your clients when you start to get close to negotiating what services you're going to be providing. It's the easiest and simplest way to clearly show what value you're providing and what the client is getting. It'll make you look more professional and it'll make them take you more seriously. Not to mention it'll make it easier to get paid at the end of the work, and there won't be so much argument about what was done and what you were supposed to be doing. So use a contract to easily and simply increase your worth, and you can use UnderPinned to make the contract. But use contracts and send them to clients, you will earn more money. Today, I want to talk about improving your business, not your craft, not your service, the business that you build around it, making it more successful, making it more effective. Take one day a month to look at your finances, to look at your problem solution, to look at the efficiency of how you're reaching out to clients, to build something that's successful. Take that time every so often to really look at how you can build and refine your business, and you will be more successful, without doubt. Today I want to talk about building success as a freelancer. What does success really mean? I've met thousands and thousands of freelancers and looked at what building success means. And I've really identified only one defining characteristic of successful freelancers, and it's networking. The people who are established, the people who are successful, they have a network they look to for work, and they have really good systems for doing outreach. Building your network is the most effective way to build your success. So reach out to people regularly, look to your network, see what people you could be talking to, make a real concerted effort to regularly build up your professional network. Today's top tip is all about productivity, and that means creating task lists, checklists of things that you can easily check off. There are two ways of doing this. Either do it in the evening, the day before, or do it in the morning first thing. Write 3 to 5 things that you know you can nail that day, and absolutely nail them. Once you do that, you'll feel good about yourself and you'll be able to push on to the next things. You can always over-exceed. Today's tip is all about productivity and making tomorrow better. My tip is to do one thing, just one thing today that makes tomorrow a little bit better for your business. Imagine if you do 365 of those in a year. Imagine what you can achieve. It's really easy to work in short bursts where you do loads of stuff for 1 or 2 days. And actually that's not the best way of progressing. The best way is consistently doing a small amount over a long period of time. Today I'm going to talk about something that is incredibly boring but incredibly important, and it's IP, intellectual property. Taking time to look at what IP means is going to help your business. Knowing what you're selling is really important when you're a service provider, and using contracts to outline that will increase your worth and increase clarity on the jobs. So take some time to go and look at what IP means. You can go onto the UnderPinned contract system and look at what the IP descriptions are so you can see what you're selling to a client. If you don't outline your IP, then it's unclear who owns the work. Do you still own it? Are you licensing it to them? Or have you sold the rights to the license to them in total? Take some time to look at IP, and it will make a difference to your business. Be responsive, not reactive, is today's tip. When you receive an email, it can be really tempting to reply instantly, especially if it's an intense email or an annoying email. But take some time. Take an hour, take 24 hours. You want to be responsive with clients, but you don't want to be reactive. If you need to send screenshots or refer to previous communication to be clear, do. Take your time. Freelancing while you're a full-time student. University gives you a rare opportunity to start building a career in a safe sandbox, to start testing ideas and connecting with people that you can connect to through university. Not many people, if anyone, leaves university feeling equipped to start a freelance career or start a business. So use it as an opportunity to start bridging that gap early. Test out your ideas, test out your services, try and find clients without the pressure of needing to start a full-time career. A lot of people ask me about how to reach out to people, especially on platforms like LinkedIn. I get inundated with messages from people trying to sell me stuff, so there's very few that I actually read and really reply to because I just don't have the time. The way to stand out is to be personal. Don't write stock answers, don't copy and paste. Be talking to me. Be clear that you're talking to the person you're trying to get in touch with, and say stuff that's personal, say stuff that's interesting. You might have time to send less messages, but your messages will be more effective. Sometimes the best decision is to walk away from a client. I've talked about saying no before, but sometimes you might be in the middle of a piece of work, in the middle of a project, and the client's not behaving well. Be okay with saying no. If they break the terms of your agreement, tell them that and say you're not willing to work until they kind of communicate more clearly. It's not going to be helpful to you, and it's not going to be helpful to them to work in a bad environment where communication isn't clear. Use a contract at the beginning of work, be clear in your communication throughout, but if they're not stepping up to the plate to help you do your work, be okay with saying, I'm sorry, but I can't continue this project because I don't think you're communicating clearly and it's not going to be helpful for me. I get asked a lot about the nomad lifestyle or pitching to clients internationally, and I don't think you should be scared of it. It's really easy to pitch for people who are geographically similar because you kind of feel like you understand them a bit better. But if things are a little bit dry where you are, there's no problem looking elsewhere. Look for international clients and communicate clearly. If COVID has taught us anything, it's that you can work from anywhere. So use that to your advantage. If you're a freelancer, you can be pitching to anyone in the world as long as you can communicate clearly with them. I get asked a lot about which platforms to use and which not to use, and there isn't really a definitive answer about this. Use the platforms that help you. Don't be afraid of using platforms because you don't understand them, give them a go. But don't get bogged down in platforms that aren't getting you work. I see this a lot with Instagram especially, where people are so conscious of trying to chase and build up a following, they're not really getting any work, and maybe it's not the best place to pitch for work. Why not try LinkedIn? Why not try UnderPinned? Why not try the dots? Why not try and look at other platforms to see if you can create more effective communication with clients to nail those clients down? Maybe Instagram isn't the best option for you, maybe it is, but actually look at those platforms and see what works. Don't put all of your time into a platform that's not getting you work.